Static Selector.
Welcome back
To a brand new episode of 2.5 Asians. Will this count as 3 Asians?
Yes.
Is that how the math is mathing right now?
Yes.
Yes. Right? Welcome back to a brand new episode of 3 Asians. Today's episode, we're joined again by our honorary member, Haley May.
Camera's not over there anymore.
It's right there, yeah. Oh yeah, it was like all the way back there before, remember?
Yeah, where the mirror was, right? Pretty much.
Yeah. I found a better angle. And today we'll be talking about some controversial topics. Anybody, feel free to start us off, Jalen.
Oh, I just want to shout out.
Oh yeah. Quick shout out, Jalen. Got a shout out.
Shout out, my Samshine, my sister Brooklyn. Love you.
Thanks for the idea. Your podcast is coming out. Yeah.
All right. Very easy, lighthearted one. I like pineapples on pizza.
Yep.
Nope.
No?
You said yet, as in you agree, Haley?
Yes.
Yeah, she loves pineapple
on
on pizza.
pizza.
That's her favorite Hawaiian.
Oh,
Why
really?
I just don't.
I can't explain to you why it's so good, but it's
Just
so
nice
good.
little sweet,
Oh,
nice
you know
little
what I think?
salty.
I know. I can't be too much against it because I don't like pineapple as a whole. Itself. I like
Well, that's
the
like
only thing.
top 2 fruit, low key.
Yeah,
from here.
Yeah, me too, yeah.
You know, everything's
I will say, though-
subjugated to opinion, but
Yeah.
Pineapple here can be really dry and hard sometimes.
That's
but like
very true.
pineapple in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's the motherland.
So
That's right.
good.
yeah. I like their Dole Whip.
Ooh,
Like pineapple
wow.
Dole Whip is
Yeah.
goated.
Like just the flavor pineapple.
Yeah. No, just in that. Like I can't
just
even like.
Dole Whip.
Have you
Yeah.
ever had like pineapple juice or something?
I've had,
You don't
like-
fuck with that either?
No, not
Oh,
really.
Okay, I can see like, because there has been times where my mom got like pineapple from the supermarket and it definitely wasn't like super juicy or anything. I was like, this is definitely a mid pineapple. It's not like great by any means, but it's still, I guess it does, like it passes the test. So I can see it maybe if you got like a non,
A bad one.
yeah, you could be like, oh yeah, so I don't really fuck with pineapple.
No, I've tried it multiple times. Like just
yeah,
to like
just
try
across
to.
the board, you still don't like it,
Yeah.
regardless, unless it's Dole Whip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm impartial to that. Like I usually would never order a pizza with pineapple on it, but if someone ordered,
And it was there in front of you.
yeah,
you
like
take a
we
slice.
talked about, I think barbecue chicken pizza with pineapple on it. I think I've had that before. I will say I don't like Hawaiian pizza, but that's not because of the pineapple. It's because of the ham.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
remember that podcast.
That was like, wasn't that last podcast?
Yeah.
Was it? Well, they don't
No,
know. It'll be a
oh, yeah.
couple-
Technically, it was last
Yeah.
podcast because
Oh,
that's
two
the last
ago.
one we shot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's a nice one to start off. Something,
Something lighthearted.
light.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now let's get into the deep stuff.
Off rip.
Do transgender men belong in women's sports?
That one, I mean, that actually, no, like I'm not saying I hold that, but I think that's like an interesting topic.
Yeah, me and Haley talked about this on the drive here.
Oh, do you want to talk? Do you have? any
Yeah,
thoughts about
I
it?
had an example.
Okay.
I don't recall.
Is it the swimmer?
Yes,
Mm.
their name or her name now, but she, I guess, if you're being politically correct, was a former male and was not doing well in collegiate swimming in the male
Like division.
division. So I don't know. I can't. That's like I'm not saying she did it so
Right.
she can do better, but she ended up transitioning, and she swims in the women's division now, and she dominates, right? And then there's a image of her winning first place, and she's standing on the podium, and the girls that won second, third, and fourth were like standing off the podium in their own huddle, like arms. Like if there was us three, right, we'd be like this, like
Got it.
smiling, and Haley would be
First place.
first place, but we were
Ooh.
like off the podium, like we created our own podium because we don't.
Was there like an explanation for that? Like the girls intentionally did that?
Oh yeah,
Or-
there's 100. It's for sure 100%
Mm.
intentional because they feel it's unfair.
Okay. I mean, I definitely know that story. I've heard mixed stories though. Some people, like the ones who seem very adamant against including transitioned individuals in like their now gender
On it.
division. So like for her instance, like they don't really fuck with the idea that you were born biologically a male and now you've transitioned and now you compete in female sports. I've heard like the stories from that type of crowd said like she wasn't winning at all in the male and she switched because it was so much easier for her. But I heard also, or like when I say I heard, I mean like I read articles or whatever, or like the glimpses of the articles, where like some say like she hasn't really dominated per se in the female one either. Like she's kind of just like overall still in the same type of placement. Like this, like her intention was never to, oh like, oh shit, I'm taking mad L's on the men's division, let me transition and then I could have like start winning everything. It's just like she's being true to herself. So I don't really know what the true story is, because I've seen like multiple different stories with different views and like why she did it and stuff.
Yeah.
I will say that like the main objection most people have is because they think that there's testosterone, right? That's what it is that testosterone might be like, because the levels between men and women are
And
different.
men are just built stronger, if you want to go there too.
Built different.
Yeah, like that's why they say like, oh, pound for pound or whatever.
Yeah.
Because like theoretically, like, you know, most women are lighter or and like less muscle mass than, you know, a male counterpart of the same whatever, right? Same weight range or whatever. And that's true. Like women biologically have more fat. Like it's in like the butt and the breasts.
It's true, yeah.
And it's harder for them to like appear more lean or whatever. I think I've seen like it's very difficult for women to get like a defined six pack, to get it
It's
to show,
probably
because
harder
like
for women than men, for sure.
yeah, because like they have more fat around that area, so you have to cut very very low or whatever. But I remember, so if I always thought the main issue was testosterone, like, oh, the levels allow you to have a physical advantage over,
And that's why like women that transition into men take testosterone too.
yeah, because they naturally don't have that,
Yeah.
right? Or not as much. But then I've also seen like, I don't know if it's true or not, but I've heard there were some female runners, like they were born biologically female, and they just had a naturally higher level of testosterone than most, and they were not allowed to compete.
Damn. That's messed up.
So like I don't know. So if it's purely just testosterone as the quality that we're looking at, I think it would make more sense. Like, okay, if this person has transitioned, right? Like let's say the swimmer's case, if she identifies as female now, she's living her true self, then I definitely think like I wouldn't think it fair for her to compete if she was still of the same testosterone level as she was prior to transitioning. Like let's say she's not taking estrogen or anything, she's just transitioned in terms of appearance, right? I think that would be unfair. But
What do you
like,
think, Jalen?
yeah,
I don't really think it's a big deal. Like, at the end of the day, she's a swimmer.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like
At the end of the day, it doesn't affect me.
I mean, yes, but also I mean, like, even if I was in that situation, I feel like, yeah, I'd be pissed that. But at the end of the day, it's just as the same thing as some rookie swimmer coming into your thing and being better.
no,
than
yeah,
you.
I thought
So-
about that too, because like part of like inherently in sports, right? People are born with certain advantages. Like Michael Phelps is really good as a swimmer because he
How
has slightly
flexible.
webbed fingers.
Yeah.
And his like he's a tall person overall, but his torso is like, he's the type of tall where like his torso is pretty much the same length as his legs. Like it's not really all in his legs. And I guess a long torso is good for swimming. And so like if you
I
really
should try swimming.
like if you really want to go there, like sports will inherently have like people possessing genetic, you know, advantages.
Advantages,
like
yeah.
if I started playing basketball at 5'6", right, I clearly have a disadvantage. Like there's no way I can even the playing field, and like should I complain about that then, you know?
Nah, yeah, I get that. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like sports specifically is I don't say a bad example, but just because I've been watching so much sports anime lately, and like I'm seeing like all these main characters be like
OP as fuck.
no, that's the thing. They not OP, like they
they're
suck, but they know that they suck and they want to get better. So like at the end of the day, it's just like if you really wanted it, you would get better and you would do better than that person.
For sure.
You
Right.
know?
Yeah. Like you would at least, like, even if you don't actually become better than them, like you would have put your all
Yeah.
into trying to be better than them.
Right.
Wait, real quick, can you tell if this is recording? It's just like counting weird. Like it's not in minutes and it's in like hundreds.
Oh, it is. It is.
It
It's
is?
recording.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
If you go to the arrow, now I gotta make a mental note that we have to edit. I have to edit this one.
Sorry.
The arrow next to the beats, right? Press that, and then go
Oh,
down to
time?
time. Yes.
Oh.
I don't care. I'm
Okay.
keeping that in the podcast.
Okay.
I'm lazy.
Okay.
But yeah, what were your thoughts?
I was kind of on you. Same thing. Like, it's just swimming. You know?
Like,
But like,
It's
yeah,
not
it's
that deep type of shit. Like,
yeah, it's
whatever.
unfair for sure. Like I feel like because I'm not too close to the subject that it doesn't really that I feel different about it because like I'm sure those girls are like pissed about it.
yeah, for sure.
Mm.
And
yeah,
like, but
they
like, but like
made their
me,
own podium.
me on the outside, me as an outsider, I for sure see it as unfair, but it's not like I'm gonna do anything about it. They're probably like thinking of ways to like fight that.
If you were like let's say like you're like on the board or like the head of NCAA or something, would you then make like some kind of ruling where like, okay, like if you've transitioned, you have to compete in the division that you were born as biologically?
I
Would
think
you
I
say that?
would.
I don't think I would.
That's where it gets kind of
Yeah, it's
Yeah, there's like a lot of
hard.
gray
It's-
areas.
yeah.
Like there, it's not black and white as most
See-
people would say.
Oh, go ahead.
I just say, what if they just like took away the label of like male and female like swimming and then just
Like
call
co-ed?
it co-ed, whatever, and then that's where it goes division based on like skill more.
So
yeah,
like,
I've heard that argument a lot too.
okay, so like it wouldn't be like, oh, the top women competing against each other or the top men competing against each other. It's just the top
Top
swimmers
swimmers.
competing with each other, regardless
Yeah.
of what the gender is.
Yeah.
I feel like,
Skill-based matchmaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like that works for sports like swimming and track and field. But then when you start putting it in like team sports,
Football,
basketball,
basketball.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, then like genetic advantages
Are more apparent.
are more apparent in those kind of sports. Baseball.
Bro, basketball. I don't, like, no disrespect, but I don't think I've ever seen a dunk in the WNBA.
There has
Yeah.
been. There's definitely.
Or me personally, I
Oh
haven't.
yeah,
actually
yeah. I mean,
watched-
I know what you mean.
you
I
probably
fully
haven't
understand.
gone out your way to watch a game. That's why.
yeah, I don't really watch regular NBA.
Exactly.
But like,
so, yeah.
I feel like it's because like I guess like also there's like a stigma against like the WNBA. I think a lot of people like to clown it, so I think a lot of the clips you'll see online is people missing layups or
Yeah,
whatever.
they always show the lowlights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But WNBA can get pretty good.
But you think like if they were to like if there was no WNBA versus NBA, just NBA, but women are allowed to compete in that
No,
league,
I
it's
don't
very.
think a woman would ever make the NBA.
You know what's
I
kind of
wouldn't
crazy?
say never. I feel like
Okay,
there's
maybe
some.
maybe not anytime soon.
You know what's kind of
Yeah.
crazy? This is well, this is a debate in itself. Is esports if it's a sport or not?
I say yes.
And I know like I used to be heavy in the CS:GO scene, the Counter Strike scene, like in terms of watching a lot of tournaments and stuff like that. And like there have I don't to my understanding there was never like a co-ed tournament or major. That's what they call like a event that's very significant. It would be called a major. I don't think there was ever one, if I can recall, as far as like when I was watching it, when I was really into it, where there was like a co-ed. But I remember just like watching some tournaments that were like female only or whatever, and I definitely recall like their reactions and like their movement was not as like twitchy and snappy and as like agile as like the male counterparts would be. And I think I don't know if it was genetic advantage of some sort, but like I remember like the women were like they're all like part of an org. They had a team house where they practiced together, they played scrimmages and all that. So like you could argue that the time invested into the sport was equal or maybe even better than how much like the men counterparts, because some orgs had like a female and a male team, right? And so in those instances too, like they would have very comparable schedules and stuff like that. But for me, when I was watching it, there was a very clear distinction that like the men were just like at another level of play, like in terms of how fast the reactions were and how well they can control their sprays and stuff like that. And so I wonder if there was actually a genetic advantage as to why like even esports generally isn't co-ed.
I'm not sure.
I'm not. Yeah, me neither.
Maybe men just have faster twitch muscles, like you were saying.
I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but
Yeah,
I
but-
wonder if that has to do with it too. Just like the more muscle mass means you have more like fast response, whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. Haley had a good argument about, not argument, but like topic about trans women.
Oh, like kind of related to that.
yeah, relating.
It was should trans men and women be able to use the bathroom that they identify with? But this was only like I remember when this conversation first came up like years ago. I remember I was like talking to one of my like aunts and uncles about it, and they were, I will say, the only reason my aunt was against it was for that one person that uses it as an excuse to like do something bad. And she was like, I don't want to have to not be able to trust people because like my daughter's in that bathroom or my niece is in that bathroom and this one man is using that as an excuse to go in there.
Okay.
How you feel about that, guys?
I'm gonna go last on that. I want to hear everyone else's
Oh, here's
opinion
yours,
first.
Jalen.
Maybe this is just male privilege. I know, cause maybe I'm not thinking about my safety when I'm going to the bathroom. Like,
That's true.
you know, or ever honestly, I feel least safe when like, you know, police or like law enforcement are around. But like in every other case, I'm like pretty confident no one's gonna do anything to me just because I'm a black man, or like visually, like they see a black guy, like
They don't know you're half Filipino.
I don't think they want to mess with me or whatever, like for whatever reason. So like I just feel like I can walk wherever I want to walk.
Talk however I want to talk. Start rapping.
But I mean, like, so yeah, it's in my case, in my head, I'm just thinking like I don't really know. There's such a low possibility that why would you cut everybody else's?
Yeah, and that's the thing where it's like it takes one person to like ruin it for everyone.
Right.
But it's also like thinking like, what if like you had a daughter
who was
and
experiencing
you see
it,
maybe someone else go in the bathroom and you're like, I'm not, and not to say like I don't know if they're real or not, but like, would you still take that chance?
Yeah.
Well, also that was like back before we had a lot of like all gender restrooms now, where I feel like they've handled the situation pretty well. Which just kind of like everyone has their own stall. There's really no mixing except for like the sink area.
Right. I love the. Did you ever go there? The all gender bathroom in Moffat.
Wasn't that the main floor?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you
Turner, sorry, my company, we built Moffat Library.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
Yeah, great job.
small
they
world.
They have another one coming up that looks so cool. I'll have to show you guys pictures later, but
No,
oh my
yeah.
god.
Yeah.
That's my favorite bathroom.
I don't know about favorite,
Or like,
but
well, just because I was always sleeping in Moffat anyway, so
Okay,
like,
yeah.
you know.
Oh my god, I'm totally telling everyone at work that. Like we have the best
It's like
bathrooms there.
like the floor where you literally just like it's a little bit off of Sproul, right? You walk past Sproul a little bit and then you turn left. That floor specifically,
Yeah.
right? Is that the only one that has the gender neutral bathrooms?
I don't think it's the only one, but it's
Yes.
one of them.
For people who don't know, Berkeley, like I said arguably their most known library, Moffat Library.
Yeah.
The floor that's like, what would you call it, ground level or is it second floor?
Ground level, I think.
Yeah, so ground level, right? The bathrooms there are like you would think they're like traditional, like, oh, men on this side, women's on this side, because there's two doors, but they lead to two different bathroom alleys that are connected in a U shape. But there's like the bathroom is just signaled as a bathroom. There's no like, oh, the male figure or like the female figure with the triangle is a dress. They're just labeled as bathroom. And so if you go into those bathrooms, you'll see like, you know, maybe women. They're also all stalls.
Yeah.
So like you'll see like, you know, maybe you use the bathroom, you come out, oh, there's a woman washing their hand while a guy's in line waiting for a stall, whatever. Like I think it was pretty normal because also Berkeley's a pretty liberal campus.
I will say the first time I walked in there, I had to do like a double take and be like,
Yes. I was still
Did I'm so sorry. Like
because of the fact that there were two doors.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck,
did I walk in
into
the? I
women's
swear it's always on the left. Like,
And so I was like, oh shit, my fault. And I went back out and I went in there. I was like, there's girls here too. Like literally like the speed. It was like, girls? I want to see men. Yeah, like I was like, shit. I was like, is this floor just like, because there has been buildings though where it's like, oh, women's bathrooms on this floor, men's bathrooms on the other floor, right? So I was
definitely.
like, okay, maybe it was that type of case, right? So I think I went out again and just did like a double take with some of my college friends right quick. I was like, am I not allowed to use these bathrooms? They're like, no, they're gender neutral restrooms. Like, it doesn't matter what you identify as. It's just all shared bathrooms. Like, oh, okay, cool. And then once that I got confirmation, I was like, oh, it's cool. Like, I don't. But I think also that kind of connects with Jay because like I don't think I would ever feel uncomfortable about using a bathroom unless like something visibly wrong, like, oh, it's a crackhead in here.
oh
like,
yeah.
or something. You know what I'm saying?
Or
No offense to crackheads.
Imagine
but.
you're using that bathroom, right? You're like trying to take a shit, and you hear someone blowing it up. You're probably like, damn, is that a girl or a guy? Who's doing that, man?
You know what is kind of funny though? I remember it's not Moffat, but there was other bathrooms like you can like someone's right next to you because like there's no bottom guard, right? It doesn't go all the way to the floor so you can see their shoes there, right? I don't know what it is, but like there's been times where like I walk in the bathroom, right, just to piss right quick, and I guess the person's like, "Fuck, I don't want this guy to know I'm shitting," right? So they'll get up, like, they'll try to empty it out super quick and then come out, but like they come out as I'm finished, so like we're both washing hands together. It's like, I know you were just shitting, like, it's like, I would, for me, if I was shitting, right, and I don't want someone to see that it was me, right, I would wait longer until they're gone before I leave. But like they're in such a rush where it ends up aligning with when I'm done because I'm just pissing. It's really quick, right? But yeah, but going back to the original topic, I think though, like, if I think I what's the right word for it? I think, in all honesty, the possibility or the probability of a man trying to take advantage of, like, oh, like, I identify as a woman, like, to like try to, I don't know, sneak pictures or like sexually assault women in a woman's bathroom. I personally think there's a small percentage of that happening. So I think I would prefer for, transitioned people to be able to use the bathroom that they most identify with. But I will say I definitely empathize with maybe women who don't feel comfortable with that, because I've also heard this is somewhat related but not really. I've heard like I guess like a lot of women, like, they experience this where, like, they see like gay men who feel more comfortable using like the women's bathroom, and like they definitely don't fuck with that. Like, we fuck with y'all, like, we rock for y'all, we will fight, for y'all rights and all that, but like, please don't use the women's bathroom or something like that. And I get that it's obviously a different case because you're still men, but yeah, it's just something that's kind of similar. And I definitely like can empathize with some women maybe not feeling comfortable, like, well, at the end of the day, like, this person was born biologically a male, and I don't know if I necessarily feel comfortable with someone like that sharing the bathroom. I think I can definitely empathize with that.
I feel like we should just have all
gender neutral, just fuck it.
Just like mop. Honestly, dude, like those they stall all the way up to the ceiling. Like,
and everything.
I don't have to worry about anybody coming in or like seeing my feet or shit. Like, just.
Why'd you point at my feet?
Well, not your feet, but like, because like if we were in the same stall, or not same.
Oh, whoa. Facing each other on the toilet.
It's like not even same bathroom,
adjacent stalls.
Same stall on the same toilet, facing each other.
Like someone's shitting and someone's pissing in like the gap. No, that's funny. No, I think I would definitely like. I would say appreciate it, but I wouldn't mind. Like, it's just like, if you feel comfortable, like no one has to feel uncomfortable about using the bathroom, I suppose, because it was clearly labeled as like a, we don't care about your gender. It's just a bathroom.
Yeah. Going off kind of like the topics of bathrooms, I had a question for Haley. If you were like in a women's bathroom and then you saw a dad bring his daughter into that bathroom to use the stall, would that make you feel uncomfortable?
Oh. I think I would do like a double take. Like, I'd be like, oh wait, but then like I feel like once I see the daughter, I'd be like, okay, like,
Cause like I saw a TikTok about that. Like, a dad did that, and like the women were like comforting, cause like the dad, his reasoning was like he doesn't want to take his like 4-year-old daughter to the men's bathroom with like cause like hygiene, like, how guys' bathrooms are always hella dirty, and then creepy guys seeing a 4-year-old girl.
Yeah,
then like when the comments were like, once I saw the dad's point of view, I've like changed my thought, and like I'm gonna be comforting if I ever see that happen.
Yeah, because like maybe the initial thought is like, or the daughter's in the stall, you just see a man waiting outside that stall. It's like, what are you doing here? But like once you see like a little girl come out, that's his daughter. He just wanted to take her to the bathroom because she felt more comfortable using that over the men's bathroom. Then it makes more sense. Then it's like, okay, everything clicks in place. That's fine, I think.
Yeah, fine by me too. Cause like I get it. Like, it's hard if he's just here with his daughter and like she has to use the restroom. Like, there's not very many options you can do, but yeah, it's fine.
Nice.
Cool.
All right. Do you have a topic in mind at all, Nicholas?
Why do you keep saying my full name recently, bro?
I always do. Well, not. I always do it for Jalen. Usually.
You never call him Jay, really?
Not really.
Oh. Okay.
Maybe if it's like quick, but like if I'm talking like Jalen, yeah. I've always called him Jalen.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. It was kind of hard because this is actually like a topic I didn't expect us to talk about today. So I actually hadn't prepared for this.
What a loser.
I had been thinking about, I don't know, maybe like, I guess I have one where like, it's very complicated to explain though. But I think that in like the inherent idea of being a Republican isn't that bad. Like, and I say that by
Ooh. Sorry, go ahead.
I say that by like the idea of wanting to maintain tradition and do things a certain way. And I'll get more into that. Like I think that like the way the Republican Party is today is terrible. But I think like the idea of like or certain ideals of the Republicans aren't bad. Like
Do you
it-
have an example of those ideals?
or the idealistic view of like what a conservative
Oh,
person
okay.
would be, right?
Yeah.
Would be like, okay, you just like to stick to true tradition. You're I would say fairly religious person, whatever, but like you're still not necessarily like I guess like a tolerant conservative, like, oh, I don't go against like gay people per se, but like it's not for me, whatever type of thing. Like, because you know, like a lot of them think that being gay is a choice.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're not born gay, like you're choosing to be gay, you're choosing to go to hell, whatever. I think that like, but this is very like weird because it's kind of like, oh, the definition of conservative is just like you want to maintain tradition. And I think like I kind of get that warped a little bit, but like, oh, you think of family traditions, like, oh, this is the way we've always done it, whatever. I think in that sense, it isn't necessarily bad if certain things like don't need to be fixed. You know, like what's broken, like if it's not broken, why fix it? But I definitely think it makes more sense though to still be progressive, because in an ever-changing society, like you would want things to be progressive because things are always changing. So law should always change to fit that new mold. But I don't like. I guess like I'm like being Republican isn't inherently evil, I guess, or having certain ideals, but like because you know like I think most people, especially with the way our elections and politics is set up, you pretty much have to be one or the other if you actually want work to be done, right? To be
Yeah.
worked into law. Like you could say you're a socialist and you're into socialism, but or like a grassroots community, like a grassroots politician, whatever. But likely, if you don't align yourself with either Democratic or Republican, you won't really get the chance to actually affect law in any extent. And so, like, I think there may be a decent amount of Republicans where, like, well, I don't really agree with this, and that, but it's just like, you know, some of the ideals that I most likely align myself with are Republican ideals, so I have to take all of it kind of thing. Because there's no, like, middle ground politics, really. Like, you kind of have to be a Democrat or you kind of have to be a Republican. It's like Democrats aren't all good either. You know, like, there's definitely things where I question, like, okay, that's kind of weird. Like, why would you do that? But I guess that's mine, so to speak. Like, being a Republican isn't inherently evil. It's just a lot of things they've been doing recently are, in my opinion, evil. But the overall idea of it, I don't think is evil or bad.
I heard you make a little sound there, Jalen.
Oh no, I was just thinking about a conversation I was having the other day. My girlfriend's mom was talking to
Hardcore
someone.
Republican?
No, no, no.
Exposed.
The like complete opposite, dude. This girl is so progressive. Anyway, but like she was saying how she heard that someone say that we are basically at a civil war, just without the actual guns
Fighting.
and killing. And I was like, well, what do you mean? And she was like, well, if you think about it, like, there's nothing that can really get done. Like, Democrats are refusing to listen to Republicans, and Republicans are refusing to listen to Democrats. So, like, it's just, like, this ideological war where, like Nick was saying, you have to choose a side, and nobody's really letting you... No change is really happening, and the nation is starting to slowly fall apart because of it. So I was like, oh, damn.
No, yeah, there's definitely a lot of ego involved in politics. Like, I think a lot of, like, for example, Democrats, let's say the Republicans come up with a great idea that will benefit everyone, right? The Democrats still might not necessarily pass that because they don't want to seem like, oh, this is giving Republicans a W,
Yeah.
and vice versa. And so there's a lot of
Too
egos
stubborn,
involved
yeah.
in politics.
Pride.
Yeah. So I can see that.
We actually did, I don't know if you did SNB, but SN Jokum, we had to do, like, an exercise about that. Like, our class became Congress.
I think so, yeah.
And, like...
Yeah, like a debate.
Yeah, we came up with rules for the school, and we were like, you know, like, this is our ideas, you know. We have to vote to see who's gonna get passed, and like we'd vote, and something would be like, okay, yeah, that's a good one. And then there was one idea that they were like, no, I don't like that idea. And we're like, well, no, you didn't like our idea, so we're not gonna
Yeah.
vote for your idea anymore.
Yeah, we
And
had
then-
stuff like that too.
Yeah.
Did you do that, St. Edward?
No, I don't think so. At least not that I remember.
St. Edward was a racist school.
How racist.
I don't want to comment on that. That's not.
I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Wanted
you
to
actually
see-
have a real life example?
No, I mean yes, but no. I mean no. We're not gonna talk about that.
Wait, okay, tell me after though. I'm
Wait, I don't
curious.
think about.
Huh?
He was like,
I don't think he meant about St. Edward.
No, yeah, not.
Oh,
not
the school itself?
No,
I was
yeah,
like, oh.
yeah. We're fine.
so how did you connect? Whatever. Anyway, just drop it. Yeah.
Oh,
Alright, moving on. Next topic. Did you have any? I mean, more.
I don't
Any lighthearted
remember.
ones?
Just look up.
Just look it up real
Yeah.
quick.
Trying to think. Yeah. I mean, just to add some joy before we might descend into more another
Yeah.
topic or something.
I don't want to keep being so negative about
The world.
controversy.
Mm.
Ooh, not
Oh,
not that one.
what about? All right.
Oh,
like-
kinda.
I don't know if this is really controversial per se, but like subtitles or not, like no subtitles, like when you're watching shows.
Oh,
and
sub
stuff.
versus dub.
Anime? Oh, okay, we could do that. I usually go with subtitles. Like I'll listen to it in Japanese.
Yeah, same.
But this I don't really watch anime that much anymore. But when I did, I think. But honestly, though, I will say I think for a large portion of dubbed anime, it doesn't work because they just literally translate the Japanese script into English
Mm-hmm.
or other languages where like idioms and stuff don't match. And so
Yeah.
that way the dub sounds terrible because like a Japanese
Yeah.
person might say that, but like when you translate it to English, there's no way like the everyday person
Oh,
in
like
English would
when they say
that
like
phrase.
Nichan or something, the
Like-
big brother.
Yeah, I guess so. Like I would never call someone big bro. Like I
Yeah.
literally I don't when I talk to my brother like hey bruh and like and I followed with whatever I'm gonna say.
It's also a culture thing too.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
Because like we say
Kuya.
kuya.
Yeah, exactly. But also
But,
like
yeah.
it's like what was that one thing we were talking about? Fuck, dude, I had the example, but then once you mentioned that, I lost it.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
so sorry, please
It was
forgive
remember
me.
in Spanish, they had like you can tell when like dialogue is clearly not written by a Spanish person because like they're someone who doesn't speak Spanish or like is not a native speaker or whatever, like their interpretation of a bilingual person like mixing up the language would be like, it's like oh like what's up, oh sorry, como está, like like just repeat it but in the literal translation form, and like that's not how we would talk.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like that. Like, I think low-key, most dubs are set up for failure.
Yeah.
Because they don't do their due
Dude,
diligence
you should watch.
in matching the script.
Have you watched Haiku dubbed?
Yeah.
Do you watch it dubbed?
Yeah.
How?
I watched both subbed and dubbed.
I tried watching dubbed for the second season because they had it on Netflix.
It didn't
What,
work.
you like Hinata's voice?
I don't like any of their voice. It's not the voices, it's their vibe.
I love their. They're so
feels,
funny.
It feels
Like,
so unauthentic.
There are some animes that do it very well, though. Like,
I'm gonna
I
say
think
like Dragon Ball is.
Yu Yu Hakusho.
Dragon Ball. I like Dragon Ball.
I think
yeah.
Yu Yu Hakusho does a really good dub.
Yeah. I've seen,
Although I've only read it really, but I've seen snippets of like the character speak. It's like, yeah, I can picture like Yusuke sounding like that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like, it's also like, to me, it feels ungenuine. And when I hear it in Japanese, there's like so much energy there.
Mm.
It's like
Yeah.
they make those like, oh, like, like,
Yeah.
just,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
when they're screaming and like putting their all into it.
I know what you mean. I like, especially the one that pops in my head is when Tsukishima has his moment.
Yes.
When he blocks
Yes,
Oikawa.
yes.
Or not
And he
Oikawa,
goes,
I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, that shit-
scream
I-
in
dude, I just got
Japanese is a lot better.
goosebumps.
Yeah.
Like thinking about that. moment.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh, Initial D has a great dub, but I actually this is kind of controversial, but within that community. So Initial D has two dubs. They have the Tokyo Pop dub and like a different dub because I guess like different companies had it at different times, like the license or whatever. So in the dub I like the most, which is Tokyo Pop, they don't use the like Japanese names. Have you guys ever watched Initial D or know the character names?
I've watched it like a couple, but
Okay, so there's like one driver in that show. His name is Keisuke, or Keisuke, as one of the dubs will say it. But the other dub calls him KT. Like they use nicknames. Like there's a character in one of the dubs like Itsuki. Like they'll use the Japanese name but in English. And then in the other dub they call him Iggy. Like he has a nickname. It's Iggy. And so I actually prefer the dub that uses like those nicknames and whatever, because I felt like it fit their characters better. Like in the other dub that used the more, but like most of the community prefers the other dub where they keep the original Japanese names. They keep like the Euro beats in the the races and stuff. But I actually prefer the other one, like the more controversial one, because I felt like the voices matched the characters more. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this person was seen as a mature person, whatever. Like his voice like sounded better in my opinion as a deep voice versus like the other version where like his voice is definitely higher and didn't sound as like intimidating or didn't fit the character as well.
The thing with Haiku's dub that I don't like also is that it doesn't match their. I don't think it matches
Like
that
the animation.
because like
That's
they-
kind of like Squid Games. I
Yeah.
remember like the dub version.
'Cause,
it
like,
did
they-
not.
They had a
They
dub
don't-
version?
yeah,
Huh, I
but-
didn't know that.
because it's like
It's bad,
it
though. I
doesn't
didn't
look
like it.
like them talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I
that
want to
too.
hear it in their voice,
Mm-hmm.
and like they speak Japanese or Korean, and it's natural. And then when I hear them doing the American accent, this is what I don't like. It's like they give off Japanese vibes when they're talking
As an American, which
as an
doesn't
American.
make sense,
Yeah,
right?
because like when they over enunciate, I think, for the dub in Haiku.
Mm.
Like if like they do like a nice kill, like Hinata, nice kill.
Oh.
And I'm like, nah, that doesn't sound like
It's not
that
like a
doesn't
game
get
or
me
something.
going.
Yeah.
That doesn't get me going.
Yeah, but when they do it, Hinata, nice kill. Like when they do it. Like,
Okay.
That was pretty good.
You
but I was like, yeah, it was a nice key.
my boy doing some voice acting on the side. Like,
No, but that's how I feel about it. Like, yeah,
yeah,
it
like
doesn't sound authentic.
you know what's kind of weird though? Have you guys ever watched like a Disney or like a Pixar movie or anything like that in a different language?
Oh.
I don't know if because I've when I went to Hong Kong and stuff, we would usually watch it in Cantonese, like they're speaking Cantonese, but like the what they were saying actually kind of matched the lips as well. So I wonder if they
They
somehow
animated
reanimated it for specific languages. I wonder if they went to that extent because you think of if it was released in India, they would need to do it for like maybe like Hindi or whatever or Punjabi or whatever. If it released in like the Philippines, they got to do Tagalog. So I wonder if they went to that extent to reanimate it slightly for every different language. I would doubt that because that's a lot of resources and money spent
What?
in the budget.
Disney has those resources
Yeah,
and
that's
money,
true.
so I don't see
But
why not.
do you think they
honestly.
would go to that distance?
I think so.
I feel like they would just animate it as best as they could to
So, like-
have to do it only once.
So maybe like a
Right.
template.
But like they would do minor changes, but not
Okay,
like,
maybe that
nothing
sounds-
nothing time consuming.
But yeah, because I know like because you just mentioned like Squid Games where like the voice doesn't really match the lips and stuff, and that's what's really off putting about it.
Mhm.
Like I remember distinctively like watching like let's say Cars 3 in Cantonese,
Mhm.
and their lip movements and stuff actually kind of matched Cantonese like that they were speaking. And so I would assume if they just used English animation and just like had the voice actors and put that audio over the animation, it would have been bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like that stereotypical joke about like old Japanese movies where it's like, "Hi,"
Oh yeah, or like the like let's say
like the lip sync doesn't match.
yeah. But it's also weird, like sometimes I watch it. This is not really controversial or anything, but have you sometimes watched anime? It's like this is a weird trope, like or especially if you talk about it to non-anime watchers. Like I remember, because Call of Duty, obviously Warzone has released some anime-inspired
Yeah.
operator packs and whatnot. You know how like a common trope in anime and maybe Japanese culture as a whole is something if a guy sees something perverted, their nose starts bleeding.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like like an American was like, what the fuck? Why is his nose bleeding? Like
Yeah.
because it's not really the
Or,
same
like,
thing.
Women in anime are always over sexualized.
Dude, yeah, like Food Wars. Like I definitely read Food Wars for the plot. Like the plot itself was interesting, but like the fact that like they were damn near having orgasms every time they ate something was just weird.
Yep.
Like that was clearly fan service. Like
Yeah.
So funny story about that. I didn't know what fan service meant.
mm.
Like in my head, fan service meant like Easter eggs or like callbacks to like previous work that the author has done.
Just something entertaining, kind
Yeah.
of, so to speak.
So I was talking to Joel about Food Wars, and he was like, "Oh yeah, here it's good, but there's a lot of fan service." I was like, "Oh, that's fine. I like fan service. Like, like
You're about to get like a lot of like references to like
Yeah.
How's Moving Castle or something.
Yeah,
Like,
so I was like going in like, thinking like that, and within the first 2 minutes, I was like, "What am I watching? This is."
it's like that TikTok. Where your clothes at? It's like I thought this was a cooking anime.
Yeah, I was so shocked. I had to shut my laptop and like look around, like nobody better watch me do it.
Bro, have you guys ever watched High School DxD?
No, but I hear it's really good.
Yeah, I feel like some people who watch this who know what I'm talking about, they might think I'm capping. I genuinely had watched it for the plot, like half for plot, half because just like the main character always gets himself in very comedic situations, but there is also a lot of fan service in that, and so like, and it's kind of known as like, oh, if you watch it, you're just doing it for the tits and whatever. But like, it's genuinely pretty funny how like he gets involved in shit. But the main character himself is actually a pervert though, but like a funny, good-hearted pervert, I guess.
Anime's weird.
Or did you find any controversial?
Oh, I
Yeah,
did.
I had one that I saw on Jalen's phone. Is women should be. Well, I'll just read it.
So it's not lighthearted?
I went back.
Huh?
It's not
Oh,
lighthearted?
so you want a lighthearted?
Oh no,
one?
no, I don't care. I thought we
Oh
were
no,
saying one.
it was like
Okay,
one
yeah.
of the first ones, Jay.
What is it?
Yeah, women should be paid less than men in certain professions.
The fuck?
Like what? Oh, like sports.
Maybe like sports, yeah. But like the thing with sports, a lot of that payment comes from revenue.
Yes.
Like, because it's seen as more like entertainment.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you just go where the money goes.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I remember this. I have a good take on this. I think. So the one that comes to the most to mind is like WNBA. I think.
Yeah.
Also, to some extent, I think women's soccer, because a lot of people say like, oh, men's soccer get paid so much, but like women's soccer actually have championships to show for it. What do y'all have? You know, like globally.
Yeah,
or
that
whatever.
one did make sense to me.
But like I remember like, I think a basketball player tweeted because like I think an NBA superstar just got a crazy max contract. It wasn't not like recently, but just like at the time they just got signed a crazy like let's
Yeah,
say
if you wanna say one, Steph Curry I think signed like a 4-year, $230 million contract.
yeah, which is insane for an athlete, right? And so I think someone quote tweeted that like a WNBA star, not Steph Curry's tweet, but just like the athlete that signed
Got that
like
money.
let's say like Woj,
Woj,
tweeted
yeah.
like or Woj tweeted blank so and so signed this 4-year
and then she retweeted
yeah,
that,
and
yeah.
she retweeted that tweet like that we're still looking to get our first M whatever, right? Because
Yeah.
WNBA, I think there's a lot of confusion on like I think a lot of people are like, bro, y'all simply don't bring enough revenue. Like I think they're confusing that we want equal pay, but I think it's more so like we want equal percentage of pay. Like X percent of NBA revenue goes toward their salaries, so like the same percentage should be going to WNBA. It's not like he just signed a 4-year $250 million. Where's ours at? Like it's just more like aligned to the proportions should be equal. I think not necessarily the number itself. And I think that makes the most sense, and that's fair. Like, at the end of the day, like these are both entertainment, so you should pay them accordingly to the percentage. Maybe not the same amount because the revenue numbers are different, but the same percentage based off of that. I think.
What do you think, Haley?
What was the original question?
Women should be paid less than men in certain places, like
Professions.
certain professions.
Can you think of a profession that's not a sport that you would say that could
That women get paid less in?
that
Should
like
be
you
that-
could
Should be?
like you could
Oh, should
argue or
be.
something. I don't know.
Oh. Dang.
No,
I don't
no,
think
top
so,
of my
right?
head.
Like for me personally, if I was a boss, it comes down to skill level, experience, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like I don't care what you identify as. Like what are you bringing to the table? Like what was your past work like? Are you a valuable asset? Whatever. And also like loyalty too. Like if someone's been with me since like I started up, like you're definitely gonna be getting paid more than someone who's doing a similar job but they just recently joined.
Right.
Because like you were here with me when I had nothing, so I need to keep you on board and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like just solely because of gender, no.
Yeah, that's super messed up to think about. What are you thinking?
Trying to think if there's any jobs that like it's not sports where it's like men or women could use their different skills.
Art?
But like guys can be artistic too.
No, but I'm
Or-
thinking like
Are there
way more guys like Picasso,
Dude,
Michelangelo.
I was about to say, like, can you, off the dome, can you say, like, a famous female artist that we all
Frida
would
Kahlo.
know?
Yeah, Frida Kahlo.
She was,
That's-
like, a painter or something?
That's the only one I can think of.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. Oh! Okay, this is not should be, but there's definitely a huge discrepancy. It's like Hollywood. Like, if they're co-stars.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
I don't get why
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a thing.
Yeah,
Like
that's
if they're
true.
both the
especially
leads.
especially if the female is more of a lead.
I think, like, Jurassic World or whatever, like, with Bryce
Bryce Dallas Howard and
oh,
Chris
yeah,
Pratt.
there was a huge discrepancy in pay, but they were both, like, lead actors in that film.
That shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
They should definitely.
And,
And sometimes it's like how famous that actor is compared to
Yeah.
the actress.
Mm.
But like, you could debate that Bryce Dallas Howard has had a
A-
better career than Chris Pratt has.
yeah. And also, like, a lot of times they usually sign better deals too, because sometimes like it's not just money. Like, you get this amount of money up front, but you also get a certain percentage of
Yeah.
box office earnings or whatever. Women will usually never see like that type of deal. It's just like, oh, we'll pay you this amount up front, and that's it. Like, let's say like this is just arbitrary numbers. So like let's say like, oh, Chris Pratt got 20 mil up front for the role in Jurassic World, and also 5% of all earnings, and they just give like Bryce Dallas Howard like a flat 5 mil. That's it. No percentages, nothing.
Yeah.
Like, there's like things like that, and it definitely doesn't make sense because you're both are lead roles in that movie.
Mm.
What's the funny one? What are we laughing at?
Okay, this is the one that I just saw. Jimmy and Jalen laughed at. People who smoke should pay more for healthcare.
I think if you're smoking cigarettes, yeah, you should definitely pay more for healthcare.
I feel like if smoking is
Overall,
why
though?
you're in the hospital.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah,
was gonna
that's what I'm saying. Well, I mean, you probably are, right? Or no?
Yeah.
At that point.
So just like for that specific, like, let's say you have a heart attack, but it's completely unrelated to
Oh yeah,
smoking.
yeah. That's not. I mean, but it's kind of hard for it to not be related
Well,
to
What
So
would you
smoking.
say
maybe
somehow it was?
let's I kind of see it as if it's self-inflicted damage, then you should be paying more
Regardless.
regardless.
'Cause
Like,
I was
but
gonna
if
say,
it's
like-
like something you can't control.
Let's define self-inflicted
Okay,
damage.
okay,
really
not-
quick.
okay, yeah.
If we're talking about smoking, would you then extend that to alcohol
yeah,
as well?
smoking and alcohol and drug use is what I was thinking of. Not like people
Yeah.
who try to
To unalive
Suicide.
themselves?
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Because like then that's
Think of-
they need mental help.
So would you say then that, like, but it also only applies to if what they were doing is what correlated to why they're in the
Yes.
hospital. So like, okay,
So like
you've
if
been
a-
drinking, your kidneys are failing, your liver's failing, and it's because of alcohol.
Yes, you should be paying more because you did this. Oh.
Nah.
But you said that for
Well,
smoking though. So
what's
why
that?
is alcohol different?
Well,
It's a more popular vice.
no, because how do I word this?
Yeah, I'm very interested to know. Like, I genuinely want to see like your
While
take
you
on
think
this.
just keep thinking about it. The way I was kind of thinking of it, it's like that stuff is preventable, and it's your fault that it happened. Well, all the time, but like majority of the time. That sounds bad what I'm saying, Loki.
But I feel
I
like
feel like a
It's
dick.
controversial, yeah.
the way I see it though is like they're both equally as addictive. Like,
Yeah.
you
I
can
would
very
say
easily
equally.
find you could easily find yourself
think equally.
into the rabbit hole of either. I think.
Well, I think smoking is more easily accessible nowadays than
Yeah, dude. Like half the high schoolers on TikTok be vaping.
yeah.
Oh.
But
That's true.
I don't know. I view it. I definitely don't agree. I feel like it should just be flat. Low-key, I feel. I mean, to be fair, we should just have free healthcare.
Yeah, let's
honestly,
move to
yeah,
Sweden.
that's true too.
Like, we definitely shouldn't be like. You know what's crazy? Like, I remember watching. I don't remember if it was a TikTok specific like, random strangers interview type situation, or if it was like a video that happened prior, but they just reposted it on TikTok. So I think they were in the UK, like London, and they were asking like, "Oh, how much do you think it costs for an American to call an ambulance?"
Oh,
And
yeah.
then they're like, "You
Isn't
know
it
what I'm
like
talking about?"
Isn't it like $1,000?
It's like 2, like on average,
Damn.
2 bands.
That's why if there's an emergency, call
Calling
me an Uber.
Yeah. Or like it costs like on average 13K in hospital bills to give birth.
Oh, I
Like-
have seen.
And
that
it's
kind
like
of
like
stuff.
bro, you're just giving birth to a baby, bro. Why am I paying? You know what I'm saying? Like other communities, other international communities were shocked that Americans have to pay to like
Yeah.
birth a baby.
What would okay?
And stuff like
I have a
that.
question. What do you think would be the best alternative pay for those healthcare workers?
Well, the money is there. It's just that corporations are greedy. They just
What do you
like,
mean by corporations?
the
Like-
higher ups just need to take a pay cut.
like Kaiser?
yeah,
the
like
higher ups at
CEOs
Kaiser?
and stuff like that. Like they just don't want to take a hit to their own pockets.
The people that don't do the work.
you know.
Mhm.
Like if you just were a little bit more, generous and didn't like give yourself the 15-20 mil a year salary and try to split that more amongst workers,
Yeah.
you could solve a bigger chunk of the problem. I wouldn't say you fix the problem completely
Yeah.
in terms of free healthcare, but you can definitely make sure the healthcare workers are paid better and like
Yeah.
reduce some of the plus like just tax money is being spent in the wrong way. Too much of it is being put in the military, right? If you take a chunk of that, put that into paying the healthcare workers, then that makes up the gap, and so they wouldn't need I don't want to say customers, patients to pay them. Like, you wouldn't need the patients to pay them. But honestly, this is getting to like conspiracy theory type shit. But like, I feel like it's all just like connected. Like, obviously, insurance companies need to make a living, right? If free healthcare becomes available, health insurance industry takes a big hit.
Yeah, they're gone.
Yeah, exactly, right? They're gone overnight. Private hospitals can pretty much doesn't make sense anymore because like usually private hospitals, like I think people charge more for private hospitals versus like a university associated hospital or whatever, right? And just like all that, like there's too much money involved for too many different people that I don't think we will ever see something close to free healthcare.
True.
At least in our generation.
Yeah.
Did you find the answer you were looking for, Jay, about like smoking versus alcohol in terms of paying more?
Oh, I did not.
He was like, I was just enjoying the
So
conversation.
yeah, you said free healthcare, and I was like, yeah, that one. Like,
Me and Jay, I think, agreed on a lighthearted one.
Okay, so we'll just leave Jay open to interpretation.
Yeah.
no, I changed my mind. Nick's right. Free healthcare.
All right, what's the next lighthearted one?
Chocolate ice cream is better than vanilla.
No.
No.
I've had bad chocolate ice cream before, but I can't say that I've ever had bad vanilla ice cream.
That's fair.
I feel like that's because vanilla is harder to mess up than chocolate is.
Yeah, so how is chocolate better?
Because when you have a good chocolate,
Oh.
I guess
it's when you have a good chocolate,
Yeah.
it's way
I see what you're
better.
saying.
It's way better. Okay,
Than a good vanilla.
Than the best vanilla.
It's because like
the best
vanilla's
chocolate,
safe.
Yeah, the best
you know?
chocolate will always be better than
That's
the best
true.
vanilla.
You can never
But
fuck
the
up.
worst chocolate can still compete with a good vanilla.
Yeah, I think I guess the question is like how do you define better? I guess, right?
This is kind of off topic, but I'm gonna say it now. Hopefully, we're getting Salt and Straw after this.
I really.
Well, we are now, so
Look what
we
time
have
they
to.
close.
When did they close?
Oh damn, they're probably already closed. Damn it. Okay,
Really?
All right, Jack in the Box.
next time. But
lava cakes or something.
my favorite flavor ice cream right now is chocolate gooey brownie from Salt and Straw. Oh my.
That sounds
gosh.
amazing. Anything brownie related is always great.
So good.
Cosmic brownies, brownies.
Brownie.
Yeah, like regular brownies.
Slutty brownies.
Slutty brownies
I'm
with
gonna
the
tell
Oreo.
Jalen right now, they don't close till 11 p.m.
Perfect.
Going
We
after
knock this
this.
out.
Yo.
We knock us out. We're
I
getting
think
ice cream. We're going to the
Cut it
golfing
early.
range. Yeah, how far are we in? 45 minutes?
52.
52? We're cutting it
Well-
short.
I feel like we get one or two more in.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying though.
We don't have to hit the hour mark, you know what I'm saying? We can hit the hour mark at the Salt and Straw.
It's like a quick little vlog to show that we actually got it. No, but yeah,
I'll put a picture of our ice cream.
Aw.
I can see what you're saying though. Your argument is also valid,
Right?
but I guess the way I just interpret it is like overall, would I say it's better? I would say no. I think.
I think because you're thinking safety.
Yeah, like, but the way you put it is, but like, would you say like, oh, a brownie chocolate ice cream, is that chocolate or is it because are you incorporating another element to that
Well,
chocolate?
then,
No, but-
well then
Just
you can't really do
plain.
that with vanilla.
Yeah, if I put
So-
a vanilla brownie ice cream, like
I know, but like
that's
chocolate,
Chocolate vanilla.
like chocolate ice cream has to be pure chocolate, no other things added to it.
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. I'm still taking chocolate
So
over
like,
vanilla.
do you have a real life example like, oh, this chocolate ice cream was phenomenal? Can you
Chocolate gooey brownie from Salt and
No,
Straw.
but you're adding brownies into
Just
the mix though.
plain.
It's not just
No,
pure chocolate.
Even
right?
if you just have just the ice cream, no brownie in there,
Because they add the brownies.
it's good.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, there's brownie flavoring in it too, right?
No.
No.
It's
So the-
chocolate
the
ice cream
pure chocolate-
with fudgy brownies in it.
Yeah.
But if you took out all the
Fudgy brownie,
brownie,
the
yeah.
chocolate
and it's
is still
purely
go.
just chocolate ice cream,
Yes.
you're still saying it's like
Go.
on par.
Go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or
Super good ice cream. We're gonna try it tonight. You get to sample all the flavors you want. It's great.
We
Okay.
had that in Valley Fair, right? We
Yeah.
Had, yeah.
I don't know. I'm
Whoever
still
has
a little bit torn. I still like feel like I'm more inclined to say vanilla. But you know what's funny though? I think a lot of it has to do with as a kid, I ate a lot of Chinese buffets, and the vanilla was always much better than the chocolate
That's
ice cream.
true. That's fair.
So I
always
feel like
get
I
the
might be a
swirl.
little. Yeah, I always get the half and half. But like
Yeah.
when I
Yeah.
tried them individually,
Yeah.
I definitively could say it's. I think we're all picturing the same with the metal
Yeah.
lever,
Yeah.
with literally only 3 flavors, and that crunchy ass McDonald's type cone, right? It's
I
like the
love
flat
that cone.
cone.
I don't know why.
I hate those
Dude,
cones,
it's
bro.
so-
The McDonald's ones?
No, like not. It's not necessarily. It's like the thicker ones, like with like the air pocket in it, kind of.
Yeah.
With
Oh.
the ones you get from grocery. I hated those
Crunchy.
because like when you get to the bottom, it's so overwhelming. Like I feel like it's a task to eat it.
I liked it.
Versus like the sharp cones, bruh. I love those, especially if the little chocolate
like
sitting
the
at the
sharp.
bottom.
I love
bruh.
those too.
Those are top tier to me. But yeah, so I think my answer is rooted in a lot of bias from my childhood, though. Like I'm sure if we talk about like Ben and Jerry's, for instance, Ben and Jerry's chocolate versus Ben and Jerry's vanilla, then you have a better like debate.
Yeah. Overall chocolate.
So you're still going overall chocolate?
I'm still going overall
Okay.
chocolate.
I would say vanilla just for safety reasons.
Okay, Haley.
I really don't know. I'm a swirl person. Like,
Whoa.
I always
I'm taking
get
the
half
worst
and
chocolate
half.
and the best vanilla and making it
mediocre.
average. I would go swirl too, honestly, if I had the
Yeah.
option to.
Yeah. Okay.
But like if it's like a scoop ice cream, because swirl I usually see as frozen yogurt, frozen ice cream, like the one that
Soft serve.
soft serve.
Yeah, it definitely
Mhm.
tastes different.
Yeah, than like Cold Stone type, or Baskin Robbins.
Bro, you know what Loki is, in my opinion, a terrible ice cream flavor? Sorry, Jay, do you have an answer for that? Chocolate versus vanilla? Are you on board with chocolate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was chocolate.
Bro. I feel like they've never successfully made a good, like, cake batter ice cream.
You shut up. I love cake batter. That's my like go-to ice
Really?
flavor.
Dude,
I love
okay,
cake
maybe
batter.
it's because Cold Stone Loki fucked it up for me, bro. I got cake
It's my
batter ice cream.
favorite.
The first bite was pretty nice for me, but then every subsequent bite I was like, bro, this is just overwhelmingly sweet. It's like they just put sugar in this. Like there's that almost like masks the flavor of cake batter or anything. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes when you have something so sweet that it kind of masks the flavor of what it was supposed to be, you just taste sweet. Does that ever happen to you
Yeah,
guys?
yeah.
That's what happened to me with cake batter ice cream most of the time. So that's why I don't like it.
It is a very sweet flavor. I will say that. But I have a sweet tooth, so it's...
Oh, I do too, but like maybe I'm getting older too. Like my palate's changing a little bit.
Okay.
What's your favorite
I
ice cream
mature.
flavor?
I don't have a favorite.
If we went to like,
Salt and straw.
no,
What would you get?
Obviously,
been there.
it's recommended because you said that.
Never been there.
Oh.
what you call it? Cold Stone. What
I've
flavor
only
would
been
you-
there like once or twice.
Baskin Robbins.
Same.
Where do you go to get
Where do
ice
you
cream?
get Rite Aid?
Are you an ice cream
Get
person?
Dyers or something from the grocery store.
Oh.
That's
Sure.
most of my
What
ice
flavor
cream.
do you
What do you
get?
get?
Probably
Vanilla.
mint chocolate, mint chocolate chip, or if okay,
Mint what?
mint chocolate chip.
Mint what?
Chocolate chip?
Chocolate.
Oh.
Chocolate.
If it's
The
been-
diversity.
If it's in-
Vanilla chip.
Ew.
it was for Ben and Jerry's. There's this one ice cream with brownie bits in it. I don't remember call the flavors, like something fudge something. I would say that one.
I think.
So I guess this is kind of like contradicting my answer because
Yeah,
a
I
lot of
think-
these
yeah.
are chocolate associated.
It's also
That's
because
fine.
chocolate is way more versatile than vanilla is.
Really?
You really can't mix vanilla with much.
Exactly.
But
You can mix
chocolate
it
can
with
go a lot.
chocolate.
Chocolate chip cookie dough.
To get the swirl?
Chocolate chip cookie dough, cookies and cream.
Okay, but do you really like
Well-
usually eat cookie dough that doesn't have chocolate chips in it
No.
though? Right? So they're kind
It's
of
like a sugar cookie, but that's...
yeah, but you
doesn't
wouldn't
make
eat that
sense.
I
cookie
don't
dough.
eat cookie dough.
I've never had a cookie
Like
dough raw.
Raw. Yes, what I meant.
I've had cookie dough flavored stuff.
Do you not want to?
I never just felt the need to.
I feel like it might be a texture thing though. I feel like it might be like a little slimy or something, bro.
It
Look.
just feels like ice cream, low key, like a harder ice cream.
I remember also hearing about salmonella for it.
Oh yeah, because the raw eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Salmonella's made up.
Whoa,
That's
that
controversial.
At least in cookie dough,
Elaborate.
it's made up.
Yeah, at least in cookie dough, because I've eaten so much cookie dough in my life.
I don't know anyone that's gotten salmonella from cookie
Yeah,
dough.
I feel like it's like some of those things like you
Yeah,
hear a
stop
lot
being
about.
Stop being a pussy.
I feel like it's one of the things you hear a lot about, but
Whoa.
I've never experienced it myself or knew anyone. Same thing with like chicken pox. I never knew anyone who had
Me
chicken pox
too.
before.
I think I had chicken pox.
Stuff like that, like you know, as a kid you learn a lot about certain stuff, and you think it'd be a like you run to it a lot
Oh,
more
like
than you would.
quicksand.
Yes, like quicksand. Like when you first learned about, it, like damn, this is gonna be an everyday problem
Yeah.
for me.
I never seen that shit in my life.
Yeah, bro. Like just the thought of it's like the more I think about it, it's like, so why are we sinking in? Like you know what I'm saying? Like the beach has sand. I don't sink in. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard for me to grasp that idea. Or like sharks. I always thought it would be like I'm obviously still scared of sharks.
Yeah.
But I always thought it would be like a much bigger like problem. Like oh fuck, bro. Like
Oh man, the sharks are at the beach again.
Yeah.
like,
Again.
like you inflate your little pool at home. It's like fuck. There's a shark lurking in here or something. Like,
Dude, okay. This is like going back to the last podcast, but like something weird I would do as a kid was like when I'd be swimming and I'm in the deep end and I'm like swimming to the shallow, I'd like get scared and pretend like put in my mind that there's a shark in the water with me, and I have to race to the shallow to get out of the pool so I don't get
Like you
eaten.
beat him out.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
It's like
Okay.
the same shit when you like
Running up the stairs.
run up the stairs.
Yeah.
and
Turn off the light. Like,
Like
oh.
my thing was like I have to be in my room within 5 seconds, or the Pennywise the clown is gonna get
Bro,
me.
you know, okay, I didn't.
Sorry.
Mine, I never associated a specific like monster or whatever. I just knew like, if I don't do this, I'm in danger. For me, it was like at night, like you wake up 2 a.m. whatever, when you have to flush the toilet and it makes that loud ass noise. I would flush and book it to my room, bro.
Me too.
Yeah, but for like the shark thing in the pool, that just like would just like help me get my adrenaline up
For no reason.
for no reason.
Like, I just want to get my heart rate up right quick.
I'd be like,
I do it as fast as I can, you know.
yeah.
Oh.
I think
Alright.
we're probably time, huh?
Yeah. What are we
1
looking at?
hour.
1 hour.
On the
I'll
dot.
go.
Do you want to go one more topic,
We can go
or
another one.
did you
one
have?
last
Did you find a good one, Jay?
A good one.
Like, have you seen one while you're scrolling through? Like, oh, this is a good one.
Oh,
we
I
should
saw
try.
one.
Yeah,
What
go
was it?
ahead.
End on a light heart because
Okay.
I don't want to end dark.
Yeah.
Cats are better pets than dogs.
No.
I think that really depends on the person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also depends on the cat and
Mhm.
the dog.
Because I have this argument where I see dogs more as pets and cats more as roommates.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
cats
Low-key.
require 1,000 times less attention than dogs do.
You put the
They're
food
more
out.
independent.
You
Yes.
clean the litter. Yeah.
I don't think better is the right word. I would never say that. But I will say I'm a cat person. I definitely love cats more. But I feel like a lot of people think like when you say you're this person, you automatically hate the other. If I'm
That's
true.
like,
That's
if you
true.
like
You can
people
be
think
both.
if you say you're a dog person, you hate cats or vice versa. Like, no, I still like dogs. Like, I literally pet Seth's dogs every time I come here. And I think they're cute too. But for me, I just always thought cats were cuter and like, you know, I prefer them more. But that's not to say like, oh, dogs suck. Like, fuck dogs. Like, I
Yeah.
will say fuck all chihuahuas, Loki. I've never met a nice chihuahua.
I have.
Mine are, well, sometimes, but for the most
I guess
part.
yours, yeah, but like
For the most
as
part.
for a whole, like they really be doing the most for no reason.
You gotta,
Um,
like, you have to find a purebred chihuahua. Those are the mean
like
ones.
they're like the crackheads of
Yeah.
the dog community. But you know what's funny too? Like a lot of people like I was like, oh, what breed's your dog? Oh, it's a Shih Tzu, something mixed. Or if you ask like, what kind of cat you got? It's gray. Like you know, they don't really know like breed
It's a
cat.
cat.
Calico.
Yeah,
Oh, just kidding.
Siamese. Like you know, like
Tabby.
I like Munchkin cats. Although like I guess that might be controversial because they might not be the healthiest. It's like you know people like really small Frenchies.
Uh-huh.
But, like that's not a good dog breed to
Oh.
have because they've been bred to look cute, but that's it.
They
Like they
have
have
a
so
lot
much
of
medical
breathing
complications.
Yeah.
So
I've always wanted to be a cat person, but I got traumatized when I was little by a cat. So that I always get scared. I'm like always scared of cats.
Huh.
Oh, I wish you could have met my cat.
Fremont.
She was really chill.
his name Fremont.
Yeah.
You know what's funny too? A lot of people name their cats funny shit. Like I know, I think. Okay, if I remember correctly, Sammy's cat was named like Tasty Pussy. And like, like dog names are usually like something a little cute, right? Like
Yogi, Pancake.
yeah, right. Like, bro, like
Ruby,
every
Lily.
Asian, okay, most
Delicious
Asian,
vagina.
like a lot of like Asian people, like if they have a pet, right, it's probably like food related. Oh, rice ball, snowball, mochi, like you know, like a lot of
Mochi.
those.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have
Boba.
I know a mochi.
I know a
Like
boa.
yeah, so like, but like cats will be like, oh, it's kind of like Meg from Family Guy. Her, you know, she's Meg, short for Megatron. Like it's like that. Like it's like a cute nickname, but like the long version of the name is like something like crazy. It's like, all right, bro. And I also think people generally had a worse rep with cats because they're not as easy to socialize with.
Yeah.
I think like for most dogs, they're domesticated. I think to the point where like most of them are very friendly. Like even if you're brand new, like you've never met them before, like they'll happily jump on you, whatever. Cats, you need to kind of earn their trust. And I think
Yeah.
the way people get bad experiences with cats is they're used to dogs and they try to treat the cat in the same manner, and then they get like scratched or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
oh fuck cats, like
Yeah, that's it's like I'm scared to get scratched by a cat.
I saw this thing that said cats are like they can detect like bad energy and stuff, and like they'll actually like absorb it.
they're astrology girls.
No, but I've just seen it where it's like people who are like depressed will get a cat and they'll literally like stay with them, and then like they'll start to feel better, and then it kind of just like walks off and, like
Oh,
starts doing its own thing. But
you know what's kind of crazy too? I've heard a lot of stories, cats and dogs, where like if someone suddenly becomes sick, like let's say like terminally ill,
Oh, yeah.
or like they become pregnant or whatever, the animals pick up on that way
that
before.
instinct.
Yeah,
Or, like if
Like,
like
let's say-
someone's pregnant, like the dog can like
like
tell
more
already.
protective.
Yeah.
Like
I've
I
seen
know
that
like
too.
one I've heard a lot, like let's say like a cat that an owner had wasn't necessarily super friendly, super cuddly, whatever, and then like oh suddenly like they just started cuddling with me all the time, whatever. It's like oh shit.
You better go to a doctor.
yeah,
You better-
yeah.
Dogs always like sense stuff before humans do too.
You know,
Like earthquakes and shit like that.
Oh yeah.
I think it's animals across the board though.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, my aunt has a dog. His name is Leo. He's kind of like that dog has like mental
Yeah, he
problems.
has
like
mental
actually,
problems,
like
like,
it's
actually.
like the sun
Yeah,
goes
I
down
think
and
they
he
call
starts
it-
like growling.
They call
and
it doggy
stuff.
dementia.
Oh really?
That's I've heard Auntie Nate say that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But yeah, he
But
like
it's
goes
'cause, like-
crazy at night.
Yeah, he just like starts barking, like growling a lot. I remember one time I was there, and like he was like barking and growling stuff, but he was like always nice to me, and I was like, oh my god, am I like pregnant right now? What is going on?
Pregnant with like a demonic
Leo's such a
baby.
sweetheart though.
He is.
Wait,
he's
so-
like he's a lab, but he's like
black
still
lab.
like the cuddliest like lab
Yeah.
dog like during the day and stuff.
Is it like a switch? Like the minute it hits that,
Yep.
like the sun's no longer visible.
Mhm.
Like oh,
He sees darkness. He go crazy.
Yeah.
what if it's not like sun related? Let's say you just put him in a dark room, but the sun's
No,
still out.
I think he like senses it's nighttime.
It's specifically nighttime.
Yeah, he has that internal
Because
clock.
then like I remember like
Oh,
they'll have to like
circadian rhythm.
Yeah.
they'll have
Shout
to
out
like
Dr. Siegel.
close like all the curtains too, so it's like he can't really see outside.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like stuff outside like triggers him too.
Bro,
Like
I
airplanes.
Airplanes, cats, squirrels.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
Possum, skunk.
I remember seeing this
Yeah.
one dog. It was on social media. It was like maybe you guys have seen the image. I don't know if I can like picture it for you guys well. It was like someone holding it. Dude, it looked like a small bear. It was so fucking cute. Like it was so big and stuff. Like dogs are definitely like have the potential to become more floofy.
Oh
I
yeah.
think, and I definitely fuck with that. Like I imagine if I had like what's that white dog breed that's really fluffy?
Pomeranian.
Maybe, but like
Are they the small
like
ones?
no? They're like decently large.
Okay,
they
no,
can get
not
big,
Pomeranians then.
but they're like super fluffy.
Golden doodle.
And I've seen them
Saint
before. Like,
Bernard.
bro, I would love like if I'm in bed and I'm like tired, like hard day at work, whatever. Funny.
Hard day at work. What does Nick
get
do
the
for
joke?
work, babe? Come on, connect it. Remember what
Hard
I
day
told
at
you about
work.
Like in terms of my like
Work.
workload and stuff.
work.
Yeah.
Hard day
Oh,
at work.
Okay.
Right, like hi.
Nick doesn't do shit.
Oh.
All right. If one of my employers happens to be watching, I am a very dedicated person. I do a lot of work. All right. This is just jokes.
Yeah.
Anyways, Jay, come on. You know, this is my livelihood at stake. But yeah,
I
like,
was agreeing with you.
like if you had like a long day at work or maybe just a bad day in general, you just see like that fluffy ass dog on your bed or something. Oh man, just hugging that or something. You just recharge that battery. I would definitely. I feel like you could definitely do that easier with dogs and cats. Like your cat has to be the right type of cat to like
Oh.
let you just touch it like without any regards. You know, like usually you have to
to your
read.
safety.
Yeah, like you usually have to read the signs of a cat before you interact with it. Versus a dog is generally.
Because
Overall
cats are more
positive.
prone to be like scratchy and like
I think that
attitudey.
I think it's just because they're more like inclined to be like an independent person. Because like also like I think also a dog recognizes you more as an owner versus like a cat. Like cats have more of like hierarchies.
yeah.
So like it's like, you know, they might see you as competition. Like oh, we're two individuals trying to occupy the same space, and that's why they might not be as friendly towards you too.
Do you also think it has to do with like how cats and dogs are portrayed in media too? Because a lot of times I'll see like the cat as like the bad guy or like the
Yeah.
villain.
That's
Or,
true.
like-
Really?
Like Bolt, right? The cats were like
Oh,
on the bad
yeah.
guys, and Bolt was like the superhero.
True.
I'm
But
just trying to think like other things.
I remember watching that movie from long ago. Was there like a twist, or like maybe the cats were just misunderstood, or was it,
It was
like
a
they were true
character.
villains?
No.
Well, it was also
a-
kind of
They were
like in
actors.
the show that Bolt was in. It was like Bolt was the super dog, and the villain
Oh.
had his like cat sidekick kind of thing.
Oh, just the fact like
Cat.
that's true too. Like if you think about like let's say like a James Bond villain, they're usually petting a cat.
Yeah.
They won't be petting a dog.
See, they're always like on the villain side.
Also, I've had a couple friends I've been in the car where like they genuinely think cats are ugly, like all cats across the
Nah.
board.
Definitely
Just the
not.
hairless ones are.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Sphinx
Ugh.
cats.
Those are.
But like
weird.
I'm sure it's a joke, but they're like, oh, there's a cat, like you know, like oh, like kind of swerve the car towards it. You know, I'm sure it's a joke. I don't think they like would actually go out to kill it like purposely.
Yeah,
but like
some Jeffrey Dahmer type shit.
yeah, but I feel like no one really acts that way towards dogs. I feel like yeah, you probably have some validity to that, Haley. I think cats would definitely be like in a cats versus dogs scenario. Cats are always portrayed as the villain. Dogs are only the villains when it's like a movie with all dogs. Like, you know, like Up, Doug versus like the other dogs of the pack. That's when dogs are villains, when it's just all about dogs. If you throw a cat in there, it's cat versus all those dogs.
True.
It's true.
Doggy dog world.
Doggy.
Wait, did you say doggy?
Doggy style world.
It's a doggy style world out there.
All right, how are we looking on time? I think.
I think it's good to wrap it up.
Yeah.
1:10.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Perfect.
I wanted to do a quick plug for myself. I had a song that just
Yeah.
came out. I forgot to mention in the last podcast. It would have been out by last week's podcast, and I forgot to mention it there. But releasing my 3rd single ever that's coming out Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to music. It's called "Stay the Night" by Koi. I'll put the Apple.
Give us a little sample.
To myself all night, so take you out to dinner, picking up the check. Got me pulling on your hair, fingers round your neck. Need no disrespect, cause you my type. You feeling so right. I'm trying to keep you to myself all night, so slide and stay the night. Slide and stay the night.
Yeah, live vocals. Acoustic version right now.
I thought you were actually going to do it.
Slide and stay the night. No.
What can we look forward to, Seth? Give us a little demo.
I'll put an actual clip of the song, but now I'm not gonna do it live. But yeah, save it. Show some support for the gang. You know, thank you. But we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned to the next one. We love you every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Peace out.